Hello, welcome back to 1033.1 ARC Hailstorm FTC Tutorials, episode number 7, and today we'll be talking about constraints. A constraint is a rule that we apply to a line, point, or shape to control its behavior, which includes its shape, size, in relation to other geometry. But before we get further, let me just show you a line. So let's go to our front plane and open up a new sketch. So I will be creating a simple line over here. And to start off with, this is a line of roughly 8.5 centimeters and it's slightly above the origin. Nothing special here. However, what's important to take notice is that if I put my cursor here, I can so easily move this line around, up and down, make it longer or shorter. While this is obviously very helpful when I'm initially creating the line, this can get really annoying because make sure that we are creating a set line with a defined length and a set position. But before I teach you how to constrain, I would need to teach you the 3 different colors Onshape uses to distinguish between sketches that are underdefined, defined, and overdefined. So now let's talk about the 3 different colors. So over here, we can see that the line is currently blue, and that means it's underdefined, and we saw that because we can easily move it and make it longer or shorter. So we want to make it black, which means defined, or if you're working in dark mode like I am, it will be white. So to make a line defined, we need to declare 2 things, its length and its position. So let's start off with length. That's pretty easy. We're going to use a tool called dimension. Dimension just is used to add a dimension to an entity. So if we use dimension on this line, we can say we want it to be, let's say, 8 centimeters. Okay, so we've done 1 step out of 2 in defining a line. However, we still need to show a position. Right now it's currently on top of the origin. It's a bit above it, but that doesn't mean that position's set. We could easily move it around. What we want to do is we want to have it in a set position. That way it can't move around during future edits. So in order to do this, we're going to use, by the way, these are our constraint tools, and we'll go over it a bit more in the future. We're going to use a tool called Coincident. This one's one of the most basic tools that is most widely used, and it is used to put 2 points overlapping and put them in the same position. So to do so, we're going to first have to click the final position we want it to be at, which is the origin. And now we're going to click the point that we want to move. So I'm thinking, let's move this corner of the line to here, and then we'll have an 8 centimeter line extending this way. So we'll click this point, and bam. Notice how this line has turned from blue to white, or it would be black if I was working in light mode. That means that we now have a defined line. Okay? But we've talked about being underdefined and defined, but there's also a possibility of being overdefined. And that is when we have 2 contradictory statements. I'll get more into that. But to show that, let's create another line. I'll create one like this. Okay. So, first thing we should do is we should coincide it. I'm thinking let's also coincide it with the origin, so let's click the origin, and then this point, and now it's connected to the origin. However, see how this point is still blue? That's because we haven't given it a set dimension yet. I'm thinking another tool we could use is another constraint tool, which is called equal. And by clicking equal, I can say I want this line I've just created to be the same length of the line I already have. So to do so, I click equal, then I press on this line, then this line, and now I have extended this line to be 8 centimeters down. So instead of using dimension in this case, I used an equal constraint to fix the length of it, and now we have fully defined it. However, let's say later in, I'm working on the sketch another day and I realize I don't have a dimension on it. So I mistakenly put a dimension and I say, originally I wanted 8 centimeters, but now I'm going to make it 9 centimeters. Now the entire sketch is red. This is because it's overdefined. And it's overdefined because I have 2 contradictory statements. I'm first saying that I want it to be equal to this line. So it should be 8 centimeters long. But now I'm using the dimension tool to set it to 9 centimeters long. It's impossible to be 8 centimeters and 9 centimeters long at the same time, which is why an error has occurred and that has turned red. So it's really important that you can keep track of the different constraints you have to avoid any red constraints. And when you do, you can backtrack, click the back arrow, and now I no longer have an overdefined entity. So finally, let's talk about the different types of constraints that there are on Onshape. I had 2 lines and I wanted them to be parallel. Well, that's clearly not very parallel, but what I can do is I can use a constraint called parallel, and I can click both lines, and it'll change the second line to be parallel with the first line. Now, if I wanted them to be perpendicular instead, I can use the perpendicular constraint, and now they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. Now, if I wanted it to have intersected the line, what I can do is I can have them intersect at the midpoint using 2 new constraints. So, first, let's define the midpoint of each line. I can do this by using a constraint called midpoint. I click the point, I click the line, and I'll set it to the middle of this line. Same thing over here. Now, what I could do is I could center both of their midpoints at the origin, or I can create a new defined point besides the origin using a constraint called fixed. And by using it on this point over here, I have now declared this as a new set point. And now I will use my coincide constraint, click this, and now it'll be perpendicular to this line and intersect at the midpoints. I have a circle, and let's define it by first defining its midpoint, and I will do that by using fix. And I will also give it a set dimension of 7 centimeters. So now my circle has fully turned to white, or if you were in light mode, black, to show that it's fully defined. And let's say I had a line over here, and the slope of this line is something. But basically, if I use the tangent constraint, it'll have this line intersect the circle at the point at which is the same slope of the line already. So if I do this, it has now moved it so that this line is intersecting this circle where the slope of this line is the same as the slope at the point that it is intersecting. Now, a line normal to a circle is the exact opposite of a line tangent to a circle. So what a normal line is a line that is actually perpendicular to the slope of the point of the circle. So I follow the same steps. And now, as you can see, this line is going through the circle at a roughly 90-degree angle. Okay, now we're going to talk about the concentric constraint. So first, what does it mean to be concentric? That means that 2 circles share the same point. So I'm going to create a circle here. I'm going to coincide it with the origin, and I'm going to give it a set dimension to fully define the circle. Let's make it 7 centimeters. Now let me create a new circle, somewhere over here, and give it a dimension of 10 centimeters. So, by using the concentric constraint, I can, 19, you know what, that works too. By using the concentric constraint, I can give them the same center. Now, obviously, with working with the origin, I could have coincided the center with the origin, but this is a really useful tool if we had decided to fix the midpoint of the first circle somewhere else. And that way, they will both share the same center no matter what. That's what a constraint does. It sets a permanent rule to these shapes. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the symmetric constraint. So symmetry is when something is reflected over a certain axis. So to use a symmetric constraint, we have to first define our center line and then the two entities we want where it will mirror one of the other. So basically right now I have a fully defined circle that is 4 centimeters away from the origin with a radius of 3 centimeters. Now let's say I had another circle over here, and let's set it equal to this circle using our constraints. So we will use our equal constraint, click this circle, then click this circle, and now it has changed to be 3 centimeters, and it doesn't actually have a set center though. So what I could do is I could draw another construction line and coincide the endpoint with the center, or I can use a new constraint called Symmetric. So by doing this, I'm saying that I want to put this circle on the right side of the y-axis and have it exactly 4 centimeters away from the origin. It's just going to be a reflection over the y-axis. So I first need to choose my center line, click the circle and the second circle, and now it'll move to be on the opposite side. And as you can see, it is the exact same distance away from the origin, and it is now fully defined. And the great thing about symmetry is that it keeps things related. So if I were to have change this number over here to 5 centimeters, it moves the circle on the right with it, and this makes it a really useful tool. So now we have talked about almost every single constraint. We have learned a lot of really useful tools. So go have fun CADing and stay tuned for episode 8.